Hi, it's me, your girlfriend slash boyfriend slash day friend's favorite content creator. And I want to talk to you guys about content creation. It's not easy. I mean, it's not easy in the sense of trying to grow an audience or stay relevant, right? I myself, though I am, as I said before, your girlfriend slash boyfriend slash day friend's favorite content creator, I'm not a huge content creator in my own right. I mean, I'm fucking jacked and I'm 6'8", but I'm not huge in terms of online presence. So I have to do things, I have to promote myself even I don't like self-promotion. I'll have to, engage in certain audiences, certain groups in order to get my content out there. And people might like it, people might not like it, but that's the game. I get it. But what you'll never see me do is become a grifter. You'll never see me abandon my morals or my stances just to chase some sweet, sweet, sweet engagement. Unlike Boogie2988. That's right. This is about Boogie. I'm doing the H bomber guy thing where I'm talking about something else and then switch to what I really want to talk about, but I'm doing it in a much more condensed time period because I don't have 3 hours to edit. I don't know how he does it. Anyways, Boogie lately has, well, maybe just to my eyes, because I don't really follow him, but I've been seeing him a lot on Twitter, and he has done the full grift. He's fully on the right. It's insane, actually. So this actually happened a while ago, but I didn't want to cover it, so I made a TikTok about it, because I'm like, this guy's kind of weird now. But he's doing it again, and now I feel like now is the time to talk about it, especially given the fact that the word DEI is being thrown around left and right, and what happened in Baltimore, and suddenly it's the mayor's fault because he's a DEI, just living his life, and that's a problem. But Boogie wanted to talk about his research. He did a little research, you guys. And in his research, he found out that over the last 10 years of forced DEI, the majority of gamers are white men. In fact, 71% of gamers are white men. So if you want to make these games that have forced DEI, then don't forget to make it for the people who actually buy the games. And I know he thought he ate. He was no crumbs, right? But if you really examine that logic, you'll see how that doesn't hold up. And that's the problem with these right-wing grifters. They don't have anything of value, of substance actually say. They just want the engagement. They just want to have their name out there. They just want to be more relevant. Clearly, their rent was due for Boogie. He's the blue check mark on Twitter. He needs the engagement. Last couple of days, he's been talking about he's getting people mad because he's dating his girlfriend who just turned 21. And when she was born, I think like he was her age, or his YouTube channel was like 3 years old. Who knows? Anyways, he's been really going on that grip. But now that he can find the sweet DEI grip, it's a moneymaker. This is the stupid idea though, right? Because if we were to go with his logic and just say, okay, 71% of gamers identify as a part of the Caucasian community. And he's also saying that DEI has been forced down gamers' throats for the last 10 years. So diversity, equity, inclusion have been going for the last 10 years. And yet, the majority of the audience are still white men. And he also wants to say that they should make games to represent people who actually play the games. I would have to ask then, hey, Boogie, if you're watching this, I guess thank you, but wouldn't that mean that even with DEI and having more diversity in gaming in terms of like the characters you play as and the people working on the games, that the white gamers are just adapting and just still playing those games? Like, right? Isn't that what the data says? Like if I were to say, hey, the last 20 years, there's been a real increase of female protagonists in video games, Black women, Asian women, Hispanic women, all types of women, non-binaries included, not for women, but just non-binaries, disabled, all that stuff. All that representation has been a huge increase. We've seen 10,000 more of those people in gaming. And yet you look at the data and data still says that, yeah, but the majority of dudes are white guys playing games. But those games are still selling. Wouldn't that mean that they don't care? It's not that big of a deal. So in fact, you could increase it. You could say, okay, we're going to have the next 5 years, nothing but non-white protagonists. And if the audience is still white guys, then the problem isn't the race, right? If the game is good, they'll play it, which is often the refrain you'll hear. If the game is good, it doesn't matter, except for when the game is good, and then it does matter, right? Because according to Boogie, the two cannot exist. You have to make games specifically for a wide audience. But what does that mean? Does it mean that the characters have to be white guys? Because that's what he's implying. But if that was the case, then the forced DEI that you swear is happening isn't having the effect. It's not making white people no longer play games. So if anything, it's expanding the market. So like, what are you trying to get at here? Like, also, hi, editor me. So something about the data just seemed kind of incomplete to me. So I did some more research. I looked up the actual sources where he got it from. And so he went for two places. Boogie went to this website called playday.co, is a blog, and went to stats for gaming demographics. And so I looked at those demographics and saw where they were sourcing their materials from. And so one of them said Axios. So I went to the Axios Gaming, which is an article by Steven Totillo. Sorry, Totillo? He's important. Steven. And the article is the study gaming population leans more male and less racially diverse. And so you go through the study and it goes through the numbers. But the most important part, I would say, is the last section where it says the bottom line. The ESA's findings show a more diverse player base that at least nudges against the stereotypes of gamers as young white men. The video game industry is deeply invested in continuing to expand our player base by making games more accessible and reflective of all, Pierre-Louis said, as evidenced by various diversity efforts across the industry. So here's the thing, right? Video games used to be predominantly, exclusively for white people. That's why it was. But as society advances and people get more and more inclusive, you're going to see a change, which is what we're in the midst of. So yeah, maybe now it's 71%, but who knows in 3, 4, 5 years, it might be 60% are white people and then like 30% are other people. You know what I mean? Like that's the part that he's not understanding. Things change over time. But this just harkens back to what I was talking about with the conservative mindset where things changing over time is seen as always a bad thing. Because now they feel like they're less than, but they don't do the extra work to be like, okay, hey, other people also play video games. So why is it that they can't be represented either? Again, if you are playing these games and you're playing these games, are you playing these games only because the guys are white and that's it? Or because you like the genre or the company that makes it or the characters or what have you, right? But for these guys, it's always this. It's always, you try to make games for us. We have to be the focus and everyone else has to just deal with it. But then when they have to, so to speak, deal with it, they can't. Suddenly it's DEI and they're being eradicated as if there aren't a billion other white guys they can play as throughout the history of gaming. Like, it's insanity to me. It's obvious you're trying to play to a base. You're obviously trying to, rally up your audience to be like, yeah, I'm one of you guys. I'm part of you guys. Which is why he says, hot take, and I won't take this back. But there's nothing hot there because it's a dumb take, but he knows his audience will eat it up. And even if he's getting eaten alive on Twitter, he's getting engagement. So it doesn't matter for him. But that's the problem I'm having with a lot of the gaming space right now. There's so many people in the gaming space who authentically don't give a shit about what's happening in the actual space and just want to come in, get clout, and dip. That's it. And I don't care if Boogie's an OG YouTuber. You've seen his career, the progress it's taking, the nosedive it's taking, the things he has to do to be relevant, right? He did a fucking interview with EDP. A guy's a goddamn pedophile. You have these other grifters who come on this website and you know what they look like. If I show you a thumbnail, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They put a picture of a woman up there and then usually like laser eyes, and it's like they hate this or they can't stand this game or feminists are mad that Stellar Blade exists. It's those people who don't even actually play games. They don't enjoy shit. They look at video games and they look at things they can check off to be mad about and know what people are mad about and then talk about it. That's it. That is it. There's never been a time where the game industry was like, no more hot girls, no more white leads, none of that shit. Not at all. What happens is small marginalized groups decide they want to create a space or a game for them, for their audience. You always tell us, make our own spaces. If we don't like it, do it ourselves. And then we do it and you get mad. And then what they do is they laser focus on those groups and say this is emblematic of the entire industry. That's why you see them throw the Sweet Baby logo on every fucking thumbnail. They gotta drop Sweet Baby in there because that's the hot target. And anything tangentially related to that, they go after too, which often the case is minorities and women. That's their whole grift. That's what they do. Force DEI. Going back to Boogie, he's talking about, someone in the comments section talking about, hey, where's this shit happening? He's like, oh, well, I've seen Grums talking about it too. As if Mark Kern is this respected individual in the gaming industry and not a dude who got ousted from his position like 10 years ago because he fucking wasted money on a bus that didn't work. Like, you have these angry people who just come into the gaming space and they see that a little bit of their reactionary right-wing mentality is seeping in, and they seize on that. And they want to amp that up because now they can get back people's good graces. 10 years ago, Gamergate happened. You saw Milo Yiannopoulos from Breitbart joining in. You had Sargon of Akkad joining in. You had all these people joining in because they could use that momentum to build up their own platform. But do you see Sargon or Milo Yiannopoulos talking about video games now? No. They don't give a shit. It was convenient for them at the time. Same thing here. People like Boogie. Again, people are going to say Boogie's been doing this for a long time, but look at his actual content. It's just shit to get people mad so he gets engagement. That's it. That's a grifter. These are grifters. I don't get lots of engagement. I know that. Some of my videos get engagement because people are mad and angry, whatever. But I don't talk about things specifically to get people upset. I talk about things that are important to me or I think are interesting. And I'm always going to, and I've always has done that. That's just how I am. But for these guys, it's all a grift. They don't give a shit. They truly don't care. And to the people who are in the comments, always defending these guys, always coming after people who look like me, coming after other DEIs, I want you to understand something. The people who you're defending don't give a shit about your hobby. They don't at all. They don't want it to be better. They don't want it to expand. They want it to be more restrictive and worse. They want it to be so homogenous that you only get one type of game. That's it. And that's fucking boring. I actually give a shit. I love video games, hence having this channel. Even though, again, I'm not making money off this at all. I'm not getting $1 bajillion or 1 million views or anything like that. But I still love this industry. I love this hobby. I love playing video games and I care about it. I want to see it grow. I want to have more people in gaming, actually. I want to have more diversity. Diversity is always good for growth. But when you have people like Boogie parroting this blatantly racist shit, it makes things so much harder for us. And then when we make our own spaces, when you have like Black girl gamers, and then you have now them being sought after because this group's saying they're being discriminatory, it's like we make our own space, people get mad. We join in spaces, people get mad. We want to get to the point where honestly, organizations like Black girl gamers aren't needed because everyone's welcoming and it's open, but we're not at that point. So we have to have those things. But we are not grifting. I'm not a grifter. You just know what you call me a grifter. I don't get paid for this. No one sponsors me, nothing like that, right? But look at the kind of content those guys are putting out and honestly ask yourself, do you think these guys are happy? And do you think they're actually doing it because they love this industry, whether it's video games or TV shows or movies or whatever, that they have a true passion and love for it? Or is it a way to get a quick buck? Because again, circling back to Boogie, who was the main focus of this video, if you look at his channel, the views compared to his subscribership aren't that good, like at all. It's a real crater show. And I say this knowing full well, people are going to say, I'm just jealous. I'll never reach those heights. I'll never have those kind of subscribers, those numbers. Fine. I don't care. If we're looking at the data, which he likes to do apparently in his free time, you can see that there was a huge drop off in terms of his views and his subscriber count. And so what does he do? He pivots to the right because he knows that he can get engagement and he can get temporary boost of relevancy by doing so. That's why he gets on Twitter and he makes easily inflammatory statements that he knows are going to rile people up so he can get that sweet, sweet, sweet Twitter money. But again, this is a grifter. He stands by nothing. He made a post a couple of days ago talking about how, you know, back in the day, he dated a black woman. He got ass beat for that. He's a liberal. He does this, and that. And now he's making posts where he's saying that games should be for white guys. Like, come on. It's a grift, you guys. It's an entire grift. It's sad. It's especially sad when you see someone who was an OG, who you think would have a substantial fan base, having to pivot to grifting, to pandering to an extreme reactionary group in order to, you know, be relevant. But this is where we are. So, yeah, people like that, the people who make those thumbnails where it's like, that's a little bit mad and angry, yada, 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 they're all grifters. And you guys should avoid them. Again, they do not care about the topic they're talking about. They only care about getting people mad enough so they can clear a check. That's it.